Hi everyone. So in Utah, it's 9:21, but at home in New Jersey, it's like 11:20, 21. And oh boy, I think I went to bed last night here about Utah time around like 1 in the morning or a little after that. I was trying to catch up on my YouTube videos because earlier in the day I watched a few, but some wouldn't play. So then, but like weirdly they played later that night, and then some of them wouldn't. I kept having to hit like reload it, tap it, but I have to tap the phone to like reload it, and then eventually they'll all play. And so, but my mom also was like semi-asleep, you know, like you're like asleep but kind of awake state, and she said that her and my dad were gonna go back into Snow Canyon and do like a little hiking, like nothing too crazy, and would I want to come? And I was kind of like, I didn't know. But then I woke up because like my bladder was like so full. I'm like, I gotta pee. But so then we have a fireplace in the room, and the way the logs are shaped, one of them looks like the letter A, and I can't help but think of Pretty Little Liars. Anyways, so yesterday, as you guys saw, we were in Snow Canyon, and obviously I was like, my nose was running a lot, and I'm like, great, I'm probably like, you could hear all my sniffling in the video, it's probably annoying, and then I probably just did it again, and I'm like, I don't get it, like, I took my allergy medications, I'm in a desert, like, why is my nose running? So, and I was like, it was hot. Don't know the exact temperature, but I was like sweating, like my shirt was sticking to me. As soon as I got in the car, I like put my hair up in a wacko bun, and I was like, oh my god, and I got dizzy. I mean, like, what I've been finding is if I can truly like distract myself with something, I'm not so focused on my physical and like mental issues. Like yesterday I was sitting on the bar in the kitchen, and like my ear was bothering me, and it had like a high-pitched ringing in it, and there was some pressure and pain, and it's usually not that uncommon for me to have like ringing in my ears. It was just like a little extra weird, and I thought it might have been coming down to like a cold or something yesterday, but nothing really seems to have come of that. And then like, but then like throughout the day I kind of got distracted and didn't notice it. And then like I noticed, okay, I was dizzy coming down a mountain or a rock, whatever, it's just a rock. And we were driving around, and and like we're trying, like, cause I get low blood sugar, my mom gets low blood sugar, and so it's kind of like, until our bodies fully adjust to the time change, like, we, you know, have to be mindful of when and where we eat. And then with my dietary restrictions, like, it makes things tricky. So, what ended up happening yesterday was I ate at Wendy's, and then my parents went to this restaurant that they've been loving. So that's kind of what we did for food yesterday. But so what's interesting is, like, I'm driving around, well, we're driving around in the car, I'm not driving obviously, and like a little dizzy, and I just like didn't feel that great. But when we got to the temple, St. George Temple, that Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, and once like the visitor center, because you're allowed in there, there's like a little museum. Yeah, I was totally fascinated by all of that and got distracted from everything, and I felt fine in that moment. And so then last night I was trying to watch like YouTube videos on it, and I watched a few, and they have like a bunch of the Book of Mormon, which I learned is free, so if I ever go back there and I wanted one, I could take it. But I don't know if I would. And I kind of want to, like, there's a part of the exhibit that's like very intriguing. I think on the top it said like something about God and our family, and like there was like frosted doors, but it said ask our parishioners help for this exhibit. So I'm like, is this where they kind of like, if you're not Mormon and you're intrigued, is this kind of where the room they take you in to try to like get you to like become Mormon? I'm like, I don't know, it's a little freaky, not gonna lie, don't mean to offend anyone, but also very intriguing. So I mean, the whole Mormon religion itself is very fascinating, and you know, my mom and I, we love looking at all different kind of Catholic churches, and most churches, you can pretty much go in like any time of the day and like check it out if you wanted to pray or meditate, like no big deal. But with the Mormon churches, unless you're actual like Mormon yourself or know someone, you're not allowed in the temple, which I don't really know why they call it a temple, but the thing is huge. It's huge. And like the windows, they have like blinds, shades, I don't know what you want to call it, on the windows, so you couldn't really peek in. But we walked around, and I kind of wanted to film a lot of it, but at the same time, like, I didn't want to be intruding or doing anything I wasn't supposed to. And then there's like cameras everywhere you look, there's like surveillance cameras. So but yeah, so it's like extremely fascinating. We walk around the building, and we saw like where you'd enter for like your baptism, and then there's a sign that said wedding exit, which I thought was hilarious. That's obviously like if you got married there where you would exit from the wedding, but it's kind of like we just think, oh, cold feet, wedding exit, run for your life, don't get married. But I think, because like my aunt, she's very into like our family tree and has done lots of work with the Ancestry.com, and I think if you go, so I don't know whose side of the family, but somewhere way back, I think there's like a Mormon, if that's correct, how do you say that? And so my mom, or my aunt's like, if you really want to go inside and see what it looks like, say, you know, so-and-so's in the family or whatever, and kind of see what would happen. But it definitely made me think of a friend of mine, although I don't know if you'd still call him that, Nelson. He's that's his religion, and we used to talk like almost every day on Facebook. But then for all of a sudden, he told me, he was at the library, so he went in the computer, and he said that his mom took his internet away from him. Long story there. But, so he's like, I'm not on Facebook for a while, and then he like never came back. But he found me through YouTube, and 2 of my videos, he left a comment saying he does, even though his like Facebook account's still there, like he's not on it anymore, and to email him. And he gave me his email, and I tried, but I got like an error message, so maybe I typed it in wrong. But I can't, you know, I kept thinking of him, and like he'd be so excited to like, know that like, oh, look where I am, and like if I could take a picture and send it to him, like how cool would that be? But we were wondering like about everything. So at dinner we were Googling a lot of stuff about the difference between the LDS and the FLDS, and through some videos I watched last night, I think there's like 18 Mormon temples in the state of Utah, but there's like 8 different missions, or no, parishioners, I don't know, there's sections or something. Because this woman, she was working at the visitor center, and that was her mission. She was sent to work there here in Utah. She was from like South Dakota or somewhere where it snows a lot, and she loves the snow, and she's like, look, God sent me to the desert. He has a sense of humor. So that was yesterday. It was very interesting. And then, oh boy, we did dinner. Then after dinner, we went and saw the sunset, as y'all know. And then after that, we came back here. And we had snacks and watched TV, and my mom was the first one to crash. So, we were watching NCIS. There was like a memorial marathon. And so we're in the middle of an episode, and my dad's like, he called it a night. And I'm like, but I want to see what happens. So I stayed and finished the episode. And so then his door was closed. He was probably asleep. I came in here. My mom had her noise-canceling headphones on. She was out cold. But my laptop, it was like still lit, and it was like so bright. I'm like, how can she sleep with that? So like, I'm like, I don't know if I could. So I turned my laptop around so the light wasn't like as bad. Because I was afraid to shut the laptop, thinking like, oh, because when we first got here, I think, yeah, I put my little card thingy in my laptop and I've been trying to upload videos to YouTube, and I think there was like 21 videos, and like yesterday only 2, it was like, oh, 2 out of 21 like were done, and finally I last checked it a minute ago, finally 5. I'm like, the internet here in the hotel is so slow, because I wanted to get some of those videos, well, some, I like to get all of them up, so then I can delete them off of the memory card, and then I'll have room, because I'm going to be here a couple of days, and I feel like these memory cards run fast. Run fast? No, that doesn't sound right. You know, like, before you know it, it's like, oh, memory card's full, or whatever. So anyway, basically today, I'm going to recap it yesterday. So like I said, this morning, I got up to go to the bathroom, and then I got out, and then my mom's like, is your nightgown on backwards? Turn around. And it was, because I have like this V kind of neck thing going on. So the back, and it was like kind of choking me a little. I'm like, this feels uncomfortable. So we kind of joked about that, but if y'all know, I'm not a morning person, like, at all, and the last thing I want to do is, if I haven't eaten anything, is go on a hike. I feel like that just probably wouldn't go well, because then you get low blood sugar and you feel like, ugh. And then you're like in the middle of a rock or on a trail somewhere, and you turn around and get back. It's just, and the wonderful, wonderful loveliness that anxiety can bring you, having an anxiety disorder, is a lot of times I wake up really nauseous. And it definitely makes sense if I had like an anxiety dream or like a scary dream, that you'd wake up a little uneasy. But to just be normal sleep, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm so nauseous, I don't feel like moving. So that's another thing too, like, I am really nauseous right now. And I kind of wonder if I eat something or if I drink something, if that will help me. So I'm going to try to like some more of that Berry Blast fruit smoothie. I don't know if I vlogged myself talking about it, but I don't love it, but it wasn't that bad that I couldn't drink it. So I had a little bit yesterday. It's kind of like my breakfast, if you will. So I might drink a little bit of that, just so like I'm getting fluids in me and something that has some nutritional value. And then I told my mom I would be like ready around 11:45. Oh my gosh. I might doze back off or try to watch YouTube videos, but you know, like how cell phones, most cell phones, they usually have like bars, and the more bars you have, the better, like, I was gonna say internet, but I mean like cellular connection or internet or whatever. But with the iPhones, you have these little circles here, and right now only one is lit. So I don't know if like restarting my phone would help or what, but I really want to kind of watch more YouTube videos about St. George, Utah and learn things. So yeah, like I said, I'm rambling on and on over here. 11:45, I should be like dressed and all good to go, and then we might go into town somewhere for lunch. Try one of the like gluten-free pizza pasta places, or maybe eat at the restaurant here, because I don't think we've done that yet, at least I haven't. And then this afternoon there's like an arts fair, if you will, and my mom just loves going to those things, whether they're out west or whether they're in this what do you call those things, parking lot in a mall in Florida. Like, she just likes to look at local crafts and art and find unique jewelry and what have you. So when she was out in Arizona, she went by herself last year, she said there was a man, he had all these like amazing things he made with these like gorgeous rocks. And she asked him, like, where'd you get those? And he's like, oh, my backyard, I'm in Utah. So she's like, I want to find that man's backyard. I'm like, I'm sure there's plenty of beautiful rocks. We just gotta figure out where to look. So my mom wants to do that later. So I'm like, I'll do that. And then we'll be in, like, the downtown historic district. And because I'm not leaving this trip without a souvenir from the Inn at Entrada, St. George, Utah, and Las Vegas, Nevada. So, for myself, I mean, I don't think I'm going to get anything for anyone else. Usually I try to get a little something for someone, one or two of my friends, but lately, I feel like a horrible person for saying that, but honestly, like, I don't know, it's just, that's not in the budget. So, yeah, okay. So when you see me later, I'll probably be at an art festival, fair, event, shindig. So, see you then.